What's up, guys? Mason here, and if you haven't met me yet, this is my channel where we talk about everything sales. I've been a remote high ticket sales pro, closer, manager since 2020. Sold over like 7 mil online. I work for a lot of the top influencers that you probably experienced in the space. So Jerry Minor, Taylor Conroy, Sarah Turner, Andrew Cruzy. I've just worked with, and I currently work with Jay Feldman. So I've worked with just tons of influencers in the space, and this role play in particular really stood out. I was really proud of how the students in my training were showing up. So I just want you guys to actually get a little sneak peek behind the scenes, and let's crush it. Peace. What's up, guys? Hey, Jory. Can you hear me okay?
Hi. Yeah.
Cool, cool. Let me see. My mic was being weird. Let's test this really quick and you'll let me know. Can you hear me still or no?
Yeah.
It's good?
Yeah. I don't know if your mic is
Okay.
on. I might.
Yeah,
Oh,
it should kick in. I'll move it over, but it just was not working at all earlier, so I'll switch it over right now. It should be a little bit better in just a moment. Boom, boom, sweet. There we go. Let me get everybody in. Happy Tuesday.
yeah. Happy Tuesday.
Get Katie in. Let's get Odysseus in. We got Heather, Tamina. Sweet, guys. Fresh week. Time to make some magic happen, yo. Happy freaking Tuesday. Let's get some wins. Either personal win or business win. Tamina, what you got? What's a business win or personal win? Hit me.
I start taking calls for a new offer tomorrow, and I've been getting my role plays in, so I'm excited.
Let's go. Let's go. Respect. Katie, either personal win or business win.
Um, I would say business win is I'm keeping the momentum. I mean, I'm not having like closes left and right, but I've at least been averaging like one a day, which is something. So just keeping the momentum. That's my win.
Nice. You know what they say. One a day keeps the doctor away. That's
Yes, it
good. Let's
does.
go. Jory, personal win or business win?
Personal win is I'm just yeah, got a close today. Picked a close off based off of taking the training yesterday and implementing it today. So I think that's a win.
That's more than a win. What do you feel like you implemented that worked well?
So yesterday Andres was talking about like the like reframing, what do you need to change in order to be X, Y, and Z thing. So um the girl basically was going through a lot of just like mental blocks as far as being a business owner, and like a lot of it was exactly what we talked about yesterday, so I was just able to regurgitate that back to her, and I was like, let me just test this and see how it goes. Worst thing that happens is she doesn't like it, and she was like, yeah, oh my God, like I totally need to change my mindset and I need to change my views in order to do X, Y, and Z thing. And I was like, perfect, let's go.
Yeah, you're like, why do you need to do that? And just add a Y on it and it's game over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Love it. Odysseus, what you got, man? Either personal win or business win.
So I had two sales calls today, and I was 2 for 2 on those sales calls. First day doing that, and then I had my first objection sales call where the lady called in her husband into the room. It was like a fun objection. I had to deal with this lady's husband. So
Did you bring the husband in on the call?
yeah, she brought the husband in, and this yeah, it was just it was interesting first time dealing with that,
That is
and
a fun situation.
yeah, it was like a lot of growth there. I didn't get the sale, but I was calling this dude out hard on lack of commitment for his wife. She needed to lose like 70 pounds. I was like, bro, you're not gonna let your wife do this. So, but it was great growth.
Yeah, yeah, I've got some thoughts on those ones. Those are fun. Cool. Love it. And way to lean into that discomfort. The funniest is when they say that and then you hear the wife in the background on the Zoom and you're like, "Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna go grab a water. You can go grab her." Just like assumptive close it. You're like, "Yeah, no worries. You can go get her." And then just like, "I'm gonna go grab
Good.
a water. Why don't you go grab her?" And then you just go off mute on turn off your camera and you'd be surprised. It definitely. They're like, uh, and then they just go get her. Uh, Brian, we're just doing quick business win, personal win, and then I'll cap us off, and then we'll go into Q&A, and then we can go into some role plays.
Cool.
Hit me, either business win or personal win, dude. I know you had a big webinar.
So last week I did about 30K cash collected, and then that's like the win for the week.
Nice, man. How's that feel?
It feels good. Feels good. Yeah.
Yeah, you're locked in. My business slash personal win was I was working out at Equinox this week, and that part's not that exciting. After I walked out, I was like the last person out of the gym, and this guy named Oren Claff, you guys can Google him. He's like one of the biggest salespeople in the world for venture capital raising, pitch anything. I met him, I got his number, and I booked a sales call with him for next week. And then he invited me out to Cars and Capital here in San Diego on Thursday night. So I'm actually going to go hang out with him and a bunch of other investors. And I feel incredibly outside my comfort zone because that's like a whole new world. It's not coaching. I know nothing about it. And that was really cool. So yeah, Odysseus has got the book right there. It's a good freaking book. If you guys haven't listened to it, I would suggest it on audio because the storytelling is hilarious. Y'all will enjoy it.
It's a great book. I just
Yeah.
went halfway through it, and his other one,
Flip the script.
yeah, I'm gonna read that one next too. Highly recommend it.
Yeah,
That's super dope, dude.
I just sat there and I was like, wow, 5 years of like thousands of sales calls and just having the confidence to walk up to somebody. Oren Claff, I'll put it in the chat.
Boom, there it is.
He's raised like millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars for funding for like, I don't even understand that world. But
His reframes are amazing. The way he
Yeah,
explains reframes, very
they're
good.
fucking good. So it was just kind of cool. It was like meeting Kobe Bryant of sales, and I was like, really, that just happened. So I'm pumped. Universe is just like, pew. Let's get into some quick Q&A. Anything that you guys like current biggest struggles and like what you guys want to work on currently? Like, I just want to hear from the room. Like, what are you guys struggling with, or what would you want to improve on currently?
For me, but I'm really working on just like finding the pain and having them say that pain themselves. For
Mhm.
me, I tend to like assign the pain or like give them options of what their pain could be. And so
Okay.
I'm working on having them give me that, and then just regular objection handling.
Okay, sweet. I love that specificity, guys. That was great. Like understanding a specific pattern that you want to unlock. Katie, what do you want to work on?
Honestly, I feel like my discovery is quite down. Like I feel really confident, and then I feel like I'm just losing so many deals and objections that I normally shouldn't. And the thing is crazy is like the more complex objections, I can like tussle with those all day, and then it's the little ones that like trip me up the most.
Okay.
So
I would
like-
write down like the 2 or 3 examples, or do they come to mind right away?
no, they come to mind right away.
Okay.
Like they'll like make sure it fits within like my budget. Like that's one that I just like for some reason, I don't know why I like buy into that frame so much. Like it's 2025. I know like most people don't have like a book that they like go and check. So like when I hear that automatically,
And
I'm just like,
even if they do,
even then, I'm just like, okay, if you are the type of person that you have a book, then you know what will fit within that book, right? That's like the logic that I take. And I've literally straight up like told people just to like try to test it out and like say like, look, like assuming like you do have a book, you probably know what fits within the book. And they get like super defensive. And like maybe that's just me kind of calling it out because it's
yeah, you're triggering resistance, right? Is
but
there
I don't say it like that. Like I usually like add some humor to it, and I only do that if we have really good rapport. But like I don't say that to just anyone. But
do you
really
ever
that one.
do you ever just hit them with the open wallet, like literally going through the training that I have on that, where you get their like get permission to go into their financials with them, or they just continue to block you from going into the financials?
They block it.
Okay, so then that's like a trust issue at that point, and we have to like kind of bring up like what's actually behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I've also like just straight out said like, look, I take enough of these calls to know like the people that really want this like are willing to get resourceful and kind of talk through it together. So like what's coming up and still people are like, no, you don't understand. I'm just like frugal. Like there's been like 10 deals like that the last couple of weeks that just don't pull through.
Okay.
at all.
Yeah, and then we can look at like the other thing is going to be consequencing that way of thinking, right? I think that's the only other leverage that you're going to have left on that, just like on the fly, like thinking about what tools do we have to work with it. It's like, okay, well, just putting the money aside, would you do it? Yes. Why would you do it? Okay. And for you personally, and then like they're persuading themselves. And then we look at like, are you 100% happy with your results? Because it's a weight loss offer, fitness, health.
Yes, I get where you're going, but like, wouldn't you think that would only really apply for like biz op? Because I've thought about attacking like that way of thinking, like has brought you here, but you
Well,
can
has it not? Has it not brought them there?
it has, but in my head, I'm like, you can like, I just don't see like a direct correlation between in my head, like this type of offer and that and like challenging that way of thinking, if that makes sense.
Okay. Can I ask you a question on that?
Yeah.
If you're frugal about investing in your health, would that impact how you progress with your health?
Of course, yeah. Yeah, which I understand that. It's just like, I guess, so you're saying is specify challenge the way of thinking, like in terms of regarding their investments in their health, not just like overall finances, obviously.
Precisely.
Okay, I think that's the way I was like taking with that, where that didn't make any
Because if
sense.
you're making it about their overall like financial thing, it's more chunking it down to the way that they've invested in the past. The mindset they have around investing in outside help with their health has brought them here. So
Mm,
connecting those two, that like they either they haven't done it or they've barely done it, and it's like they need that accountability, and this is probably going to provide that accountability. Do you provide accountability with your service?
mhm.
Yeah. So then in that case, it's like we can really hammer that angle quite hard.
Got it.
Yeah, I think it's like money aside, would you do it? Why would you do it? And then like can I make a suggestion or can I share a perspective? And then we like go look at it. It's like, would it be fair to say that way of thinking that you've had around investing in your health has brought you to where you're at right now? And are you okay if that continues? So if you keep using that way of thinking where you're just going to fit it within your budget and you keep waiting, what is that going to look like for you and your health goals moving forward?
Hmm,
So you can consequence that way of thinking.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was helpful.
Yeah. So you're getting them to you're getting the link. You're getting them to link it to their results. If they can't see the link, and a lot of them don't, then they don't actually believe that the way of thinking is detrimenting them, and they haven't connected. They haven't linked those two things together yet.
I got you.
So
Okay.
you're helping them get that locked together, and then they go, ah, shit, these are connected, and
Yeah.
that's when you can actually consequence it. But if they don't see the connection yet, then you're kind of cooked.
Yeah, I think I'm keeping it too logical.
Yeah, well, like that's because that's fair. That's because like they're giving you something that on the surface looks logical, but is it actually logical, the concern that they're giving, or is it
No,
emotional?
no, it's emotional.
Exactly, right? So we're buying into that it's logic, and then we're playing on the logical game when it's an emotional game.
I got it. Okay. Can I ask one
Yeah.
more question real quick?
Yeah, for sure. And then we'll go.
So I've gotten a lot of husband objections too, and I'm good with like saying like, okay, if they were on the call, they had full context, like if they were, do you think they'd be on board? Okay, and then walk them through that, and then I usually ask them like, okay, what do you feel like they would be like most apprehensive about to get like what they're apprehensive about in a way, and I'm okay for whatever reason if they say no, like, would you still do this? More like 9 times out of 10, they say that they will still do it if they say no, but I can't figure out a way to like tie that off and like
And then move it
ask for
forward beyond that
and move them
point.
forward. Yeah.
So it's like if you go to him and he says no, would you just not do it or would you do it anyways? Is that what you're asking basically?
Yes. And like 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh, I would do it anyways. And then I'm like,
I would stress test that one more time.
can
So
we
with that,
role play it out to see how you would do it?
yeah. So would you so in that case, I mean, if he says no, would you do it or like would you just not do it or would you just do it anyways?
No, I think I'd probably like find a way to do it.
Okay, like walk me through that. Like you would just spend the money on it, even though he didn't approve. You would just go for it anyways, like for real.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's my money, so I would probably do it anyways if he didn't
Okay,
support me.
okay, gotcha. And assuming he is two thumbs up, like, is there anything else that would hold you back?
No, not at all. No.
Okay, and so with that in mind, like, are you 100% committed to solve this for you, your health, your future, to really like change this, or how do you feel?
No, I'm committed. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, can I share a perspective in that case?
Yeah.
Cool. So there's like two ways you could probably approach him. One is like, hey, honey, it's kind of like the permission mindset. I'm not saying you would because like you're not that type of person, but I'm just walking you through it, right? Like one is like, hey, honey, I'm thinking about doing this thing. It costs $4,000. I saw it on the internet. What do you think? The other one would be putting down like some sort of small deposit as like a financial commitment, just to like have that line in the sand and going to him with certainty saying, hey, honey, I really want to work on my health for me, for you, for our family to be a better role model and just show them what's possible so that I don't keep living out this pattern that I have. So I've actually taken the initiative over the last few weeks. I found a program. I actually took a first step and got my first payment going so that I could lose that weight and just be a better mother. I'd really like to like have your blessing on it. I'm gonna do it anyways, but I just want to like get your support. Are you cool with me doing that? If heaven forbid they're not, we can refund it, but I just want your support. Which one do you think is gonna get better response? The conviction or just kind of hesitating and going to him for permission about like your body? I'm not saying you would, but which one do you think would get better response?
Yeah, the latter.
Why?
I mean, I think he would respect more that I'm doing what I feel like is best for me,
Well,
regardless. So
yeah, and more importantly, what would you respect more? You doing it for you or you delaying?
yeah, me doing it for me, for
Okay.
sure.
So what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that was what I needed to walk through. And the
Yeah.
why, the why is definitely just like double, triple that down for sure. That was very
So,
helpful.
so
Thank
I'll,
you.
I'll admit, because I haven't done it in a while, guys, I'm going to be honest, that was a bit rusty, but we usually give them two options of the way in which you can approach the conversation, right? Like that was on the fly. Like I would suggest that you guys kind of script that for yourself and figure out what makes sense, but you're painting out two identities of the ways in which they could approach. And especially with that respect thing, it's like, okay, I get what he would respect. What would you respect more for you and yourself? And I put the focus responsibility back onto her. Because people often with weight loss or health sometimes will deflect the responsibility to a third party and what other people think, what other people believe. That is responsibility, is bringing the ownership back to her. Let's get some quick takeaways and we'll move over to Jory as well. Was that helpful, not helpful? Curious what you guys' thoughts are on that. Demina.
I have a question. Would it make sense to be like after you get like that, like triple tie down, after you say why, like to add in like a little bit, like whose responsibility is it to end up losing these 30 pounds at the end of the day? Is it your husband's or will you be the one achieving these results?
Yeah, and you can even soften that by like you say ultimately who's going to be the one doing, instead of like that's a little obvious, not terribly obvious, but you can feel it. To be a
Yeah.
little more subtle, what it could look like is like ultimately who's going to be the one putting in the reps, following the diet, and doing the work. Who is that going to be? They're going to say that's going to be me. All right. So even if he has all the love in his heart, is it really fair to put any of the responsibility of burden onto this decision, knowing the person who it impacts the most is you and your health? Like, is that really fair to you? And if they say no, then you go, why not? Right? Because whenever we get them to like yes or no, whenever we get them to agree or disagree in a position that we want to reinforce, we follow that up with why or why not, respectively, so that people will double down on their position and their agreement that they just gave to us. Is that helpful?
Yeah. And
I know
then
it's,
once they do
yeah.
agree, how do you lead them back into the close? Like just a simple like, so
So
can I?
what? So, yeah. So what do you feel like you need to do then to put yourself in the best possible position, or how would you like to proceed? Or knowing that, what would make sense as a next step from here? Would it make sense to move forward, or what would you like to do?
Okay.
After we've gotten that agreement, after we've gone through that full cycle, that loop, then we can just circle back to like, cool. So do you want to do it? It could even be as simple as that. Is that helpful?
Yes, thank you.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Jory, you had a specific question. I wanted to come back to it. I like specific questions.
Um, oh, okay. So what I'm working on particularly is just finding the pain and not assigning the pain. For context, my background is like as a business owner, and now I'm working on somebody else's offers. So I tend to go into the call like already having a very logical way of walking through. And so it's sometimes hard for me to get them to say, okay, this is the problem I'm having, this is why this is a problem, versus me giving them options of problem.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why do you think you give them the options of the problem?
Because I'm a very logical thinker. So I'm like, okay, like based off of the people that I've spoken to, based off of, who the prospects are, typically their problem is 1, 2, or 3 thing.
And here's where like understanding like a more scriptless approach I think is important, because it's not necessarily a bad thing as long as you followed up with a question. You just can't like tell them what their problem is. You'd be like, hey, usually when women come to us, sometimes they struggle with A, B, or C. Do you feel like it's one of those, or is it something totally different for you? But
Okay.
I would still give them the option to opt out of A, B, or C, or is it something totally different for you? That way they don't feel like you completely just controlled them and boxed them in. They go, nope, it's
Okay.
not different for me. I'm actually an A and B. Okay, well, how long have you had A and B for? And how is that effective?
Okay.
It could be a very effective technique, actually, if you have a
Okay.
consistent problem every time. But maybe let's role play it and just hear how you sound, and then we'll know. You want to give it a test?
Yeah. Okay. It's a spa
What do you
business
sell
coach
again?
offer. It's 6 months business coaching for spa business owners or like hormone replacement business owners.
Okay, let's have Demeanor, are you cool with being prospect?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not spa vibes.
Yeah, I did a I did a role play with her. She's actually very good. She's with it.
Nice.
So
Let's do it. Let's just hear how it sounds.
okay, awesome. So typically what we see with the women that we work with is either they're struggling with being able to work themselves out of the business, and they're finding themselves as the bottleneck. Another thing that either they struggle with is really getting their SOPs, their system processes, and all that in order so that they can really attract A players and keep those A players. Or they also just like don't understand their numbers. They don't know anything about their KPIs, how to scale predictably and profitably. Would you say that any of those are like in alignment with you?
Yeah, honestly, like it's just I feel like I'm working in the business so much that I don't have enough time. Well, I have the time, but I don't resource it enough to figure out my KPIs and my numbers, so I don't have an actual scope of how the business is doing financially.
So would you say it's almost like a stack, like because you're working so much in the business, then you also don't have the ability to like look at your business analytically and see kind of what's going on?
Yeah.
Why would you say you're working in the inside of the business so much versus being able to work on the business?
I mean, that's just like how it is like for my med spa right now. Like we have so many clients and like me being our lead provider, like it's hard for me to just like I want to prioritize the clients, but I also have to prioritize the business as well. And I'm like struggling to find the balance in both.
So then this is where I get stuck, where like now, like right now I kind of go into like, okay, so how many hours are you spending working in the business versus on the business and kind of go through there. But I feel like I could probably go deeper. And that's kind of where I get stuck. Because I'm like, okay, you gave me your
Let's
problem.
say
I know your
let's
problem.
say you did go deeper. What would you even want to get out of it? Like, what's the point in your mind of going deeper? For what purpose?
The point is to try to figure out, okay, if because she said she's the main provider, so how many hours are you spending taking clients? And then of that, how many hours would you want to ideally
Sure.
be taking clients? Because a lot of these people, they don't necessarily want to work themselves totally out of taking clients. They still want to take some.
Yeah. So whenever I go through like a problem, it's kind of like find the problem, and then usually after that I'll just like have a quick section to define the numbers around the problem, and then after that I'll do like a rationale question, which is like an EPQ. Like, have you guys heard of rationale questions, or like kind of like what's the
Hmm.
main? That's kind of the steps in my mind. Like you could do it a different order. I just like that order. It's like, what's the problem? How long has it been? What's the impact of it? Hey, let's look at the numbers together in relation to said problem, and then a rationale question.
Okay,
So like that
that makes
order
sense.
works pretty well. You don't have to ask the impact question every single time. Like sometimes people just tell you the impact, and if you ask the impact question, you sound like an idiot because you're like, and how is that affecting the business? It's like, hey, fuckface, did you listen to anything I just said? So like be present, and just if you hear the impact in it, then you can just like, cool. Do you mind just as like business owner, do you mind if we just look at the data a little bit together just so I understand? Cool. How many hours a week are you spending in that? I like to get permission to go into data because I find that if I start plugging into someone's specific numbers, it's like kind of private, and
Hmm.
just some sort of softener or permission to get into someone's numbers typically gets them to be more compliant and open with me about those numbers.
Hmm. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like
A lot of, I guess my follow-up thing there would be like on top of that, a lot of these people don't even know any of their numbers at all. And so obviously that's a huge problem.
yeah,
And
that's great. So they go that I don't know why, and then you go, hold on, why is that? Okay, so that's another thing we could work on. We could work on. So that's great. You uncover another problem if they don't know their numbers.
right. And then I
Do
just
you solve that through your coaching? You help them track their business and
yeah, no, it's a
systemize their
massive thing
business?
that's yeah.
Okay, well, it makes sense why you're stuck. You don't even know how much time's going into those things. How would you solve it if you don't know the data? Literally, as a business owner, higher level business owner above like 20K per month, everything starts to come down to good data and good decisions. And if you don't have that, you like solving stuff is like a shot in the dark. Like
Right.
that's the truth of it.
Right.
You go, oh, well, it makes sense why you're there.
Right.
You can giggle with me a
Okay.
little bit. Like it's like when a sales rep is like, I don't have the money to invest. And it's like, of course, because you can't handle objections or have a proper discovery. That's why we're on the call. It's kind of the
Right.
same equivalent.
Right. Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
mind your discovery though. It felt pretty natural. And you did ask two closed-ended questions in a row, which one was like, here's your options. And then do you think it's this? Yes. She said yes, but you followed that with an open-ended question.
Hmm.
So as long as you follow it through with the open-ended, then I feel fine with it.
Okay. Okay.
Do you feel awkward using that structure?
No, I don't feel awkward with it. I think that what am I trying to say? How I'm trying to say? There's so many things that are changing in my process. So trying to figure out like where properly to implement them and then making sure that I'm still hitting everything else. So it's
Okay.
just like
Cool.
it's all good. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
problem.
You seem pretty natural
Yeah.
on the call, to be honest. I wasn't, nothing stood out that was like wildly off.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So
Thank you.
I felt good with it. Who else has got like a specific question or specific thing they want to work on? Brian?
Yes, my question is, so since my offer, we basically tell them what they're going to need. At the very end, it's usually like, so you're going to need structure, systems, consistency. Moving forward, is it something that you want to continue to do on your own? Do you possibly want to get some guidance? I would say about 95% of people say, I want guidance. In this last week, I've had more people say like, oh, I just want to do those first steps on my own. And then I just get stuck at that point. So yeah, I'm just kind of curious how you would handle that.
Yeah. Can you walk me through the timing? When do you ask that question?
So that's at the very end. So once we go through like situation, future pacing, consequence, and then it's like ultimately, so you don't end up leaving the industry and you don't have to find another job. You're gonna need these three things. Moving forward in terms of implementing, is it something that you want to continue to do on your own, or do you possibly want to get some guidance? And that's usually how it ends.
Is that your transition into your pitch?
Yes, yeah. So if they're like, yeah, I do want some guidance, it's like, okay, well, if you like, I can break down what that guidance would look like and then answer any questions around it. And then I go into my pitch. So then my questions around for the people, like maybe 5% of people that are like, oh no, I just want to implement everything on my own.
So it's actually a very small percentage who say that though?
Yeah, super. Like basically last month I took about 37 calls. I think maybe one or two people said it. And then this month I'm at 46 calls and I've had like four people say it. So I've noticed an increase this
Okay.
month.
Yeah, that's good data. What do you see as the benefit of even asking that question in the first place? Why do you even ask it?
Well, I just got it from like the business owner's process. So just because since we tell them like what they're gonna need, we basically tell them like what they're gonna need during the sales call, and then I just ask at the end if like they're gonna implement on their own or they want the guidance. I just been getting that from the
Because your
business.
call is actually kind of consultative, essentially.
Yeah, so we're literally like they pay for the call so that we can tell them exactly what to do, and then at the end it's like, do they want to take those steps solo or do they want to possibly get help taking those steps?
Yeah. So like the proactive approach would be around, because I don't want to change your whole process by any
Yeah.
means. The proactive approach is like, how do you create doubt now? And what are your kind of rationale questions or your questions that cause them to realize that like they're missing some things? Like, how are you creating a little bit of doubt for them?
Well, I would say with the rationale question, I'm kind of like hit or miss. Sometimes I ask it, sometimes I don't ask it. So that's probably part of the reason.
Okay.
As far as the doubt questions, I don't know if
Walk me through your real quick.
yeah.
Hit me with a rationale question. Like, what does it sound like when you use it?
Yeah, for you, Mason, everyone's a little bit different. What's kind of the main reason that you would kind of consider getting the outside help with the marketing rather than maybe just going out and try to figure everything out on your own?
Uh, that's a good question. Um, yeah, I mean, like I've already tried to do it on my own, so like I just want to get there faster, essentially.
Yeah. And what do you mean by you've already tried to do it on your own?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've watched YouTube videos. I did a course like 3 or 4 years ago about marketing as a tattoo artist, and yeah, those are like the main things I tried.
Gotcha. And you did mention you want to get there faster. Why is getting there faster so important right now versus let's just say, I don't know, like 3 months ago?
Just the consistency of my jobs has decreased at this point, and so my revenue is like hitting a like it's a slow season with winter right now, so it's just like it's pretty rough currently.
Mm. That's usually how, because it's interesting because I've had people give me like really strong pay points like that. And then at the end, they're like, yeah, I still want to implement everything on my own. So I think that's part of the reason why I'm kind of stumped on it.
Yeah. Can we test it really quick? Do you want to give me that and then we could just test it?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
for sure.
yeah. So give me the situation like whatever you hear.
Yeah, I mean, you've given me a lot of things to implement here. Yeah, I basically just want to do everything on my own first. And then if I start struggling, then I'll reach back out to you guys to get some further help.
Yeah. You could. I guess what's kind of the main reason in your mind that you'd want to like wait to struggle before getting the help potentially?
I don't know, I just don't want to, I guess I just don't want to like jump into anything too quick. So I think I'm always like that where I rather struggle on my own first and then afterwards kind of get help afterwards.
Yeah. You could. How long have you been using that mindset or that perspective for, would you say?
Probably my whole life.
Okay. And like, if we look at the results that you have right now, like, are you 100% happy with the results and the trajectory of the business?
No, definitely not. Especially in the last couple years. No, I'm not happy with it.
Okay. And I'm not like a scientist or anything, but do you think it would be fair to say that that method of that mindset or that perspective of kind of waiting to struggle to get help has possibly affected your growth curve and trajectory?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
In what way?
Well, I feel like at this point, if I would have, started doing things a lot sooner, I probably would have been a lot further at this point. So, yeah.
Okay. So what would cause you to want to continue to use that perspective knowing it hasn't necessarily served you in the past? Like what would cause you to want to use that right now rather than just doing things a little different, just to see if I could help?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just going to be just since like things have been so slow in terms of like finances, I'm just like super strapped right now. Even just like paying
Oh,
bills, I'm not in a good position. So just to
yeah.
invest.
That
Yeah.
makes sense, man, because that's why you're here, right? Is to make more money, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just putting the money to the side, would you do it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure I would get guidance if money was just laying around. Yeah.
Are you sure you're not just like playing nice?
No. I mean, I want the guidance. It's really just like a financial thing. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool, man. Um, so in other words, you're not in a place of do I want to do it? Is Ryan legit? There's really no doubt around that. It's not a should I, it's literally just a how. Like how do you figure out the funding so you can invest in the business and actually grow and create that consistency? Is that right?
Yeah, it's pretty spot on. Yeah.
Okay. Um, in that case, uh, would you be open to have an honest conversation around the finance? So that way, kind of best case, worst case, like best case, we could actually figure out a game plan or maybe some sort of tools or steps so you can accelerate your growth even faster today. Worst case, even if financially it's not feasible or possible right now, 3 to 6 months from now, we can actually have a game plan to work towards to get you a solution. Would that help you?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so now we're at open wallet. And now I'm going to go through cash on hand as in terms of checkings, savings, credit score, and then what is your monthly cash flow to
Okay.
then decide logistically. Now we boiled it down to logistics.
Okay.
We're at a point where the only thing left is literally logistics. Does this person humanly, like physically, even have the capacity to purchase right now? And then we're at a logistics problem. So at least we've gotten to the real issue, which is just like a logistics and money, not
Yeah.
like it's like, what are they actually telling you? Like, why would they say something like that when they've gone through this whole webinar process? Like, do you think they would really want to do that? Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I think
think
it's
it's just money, right?
yeah, I think it is just money. It's just like their way of like trying to hide like yeah, I'll just do it on my own, but it's really just like I don't have the money to invest in myself right now.
And you could even ask that, be like, no worries, man. Is it like, can I ask you an honest question on that? And you could just like have a little light levity to it. Like, is it a case of like you want to do things on your own and figure it out yourself, or is it a case of it's just a little bit more than you expected and the funding's a bit tight, given that you have all the context of the call and their stats?
Yeah.
You can just empathize, be like, dude, based on where you're at, like, is it a case of that? Like, you don't want to get there faster and get the help, or it's just a little bit stretchy with the funding? So you could probably skip the whole mindset and fancy shit that I did and just get straight to that, to be honest. We just had to realize that through kind of jousting a bit
Yeah.
to see it.
And then so just to be clear, so then I would do the whole open wallet test even before I go into the pitch.
Um, if they're saying, if they kind of cave in, like, no, I want to, then I would pitch and then I would open wallet at the end.
Okay.
But
Okay.
like if they're showing a willingness to invest, but if they're literally telling me like that they want to wait to implement and they want to figure it out on their own, then I am going to ask questions to at least stress test that perspective and see where it comes from.
Okay.
Is it actually a thought out thing or is it just a knee jerk response that they're giving me?
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, I think that's very helpful. Yeah, I think because for sure there's like something underlying when they say they want to do it on their own. So I think that's very helpful.
Yeah, it's like, well, what the fuck's behind that?
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, dude, Kobe Bryant wants to train you and make you a better. Like, I think I'm gonna watch YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like, yo, what? No, that doesn't make sense. So then you get curious. Um, cool. Good work, man. That was awesome. Is there anything else you want to work on or do you want to flip it? Do you want to role play it in their direction? Anything else that'd be helpful?
I mean, I think that's pretty helpful right there.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Sweet. Let's go. Pat, what's up, dude?
Yeah, I just had a quick question for that. Obviously, Brian's call is a little different in that circumstance because people are paying for that call. But my assumption why you asked that earlier was there's no reason to give them the possibility to want to keep doing it on your own. Is that right?
Yeah, it's just like, let's point the sales process towards a sale, not
Right.
towards
Right. Towards an out.
Like they're
Like
already
an
on the
easy out.
call. It's like I don't want to like I give them enough outs. Like things like rationale questions are outs. Like I'm giving them outs constantly throughout the process. That one's just so obvious that like I just don't want to give them the layup dunk.
Right. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
But
cool.
I also want you guys to see that like through dialogue, even if you do give them an out and you mess up, there's a way to use questions to recover it.
Mm-hmm.
Brian?
Right.
Yeah, how would you do it? Since like we give them like all the strategies, how would you kind of like how would you transition into a pitch?
After
Um,
that?
yeah, so like since we're telling them like what to do, I'm just curious like how you would kind of transition into a pitch if we're not kind of giving them that out.
Yeah, well, now that I know the context, I don't think the out's necessarily bad, but I might add a little bit of vilification into it, which is
Okay.
essentially like after we've gone through it, it's like, hey, do you feel like all this would be helpful for you to have the kind of support around implementation? Be like, cool, there's kind of typically two paths here. Like some business owners like kind of just do the DIY, they kind of piece it together themselves, duct tape, and kind of just, figure it out, and it's okay. And then like usually the most successful owners, what we see, what they usually do is they just get a little bit more coaching so they can actually get there quicker and stop losing out on X, Y, Z, and ABC. I guess what would make more sense to you? Would you want to kind of just DIY it from here, or are you open to talk about what it would look like to help you further?
Gotcha.
So I might just like low key shame
The
the business
DIY.
owners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might just like come up with some languaging that kind of like low key vilifies that behavior. Up to you. It's working. Your close rate's good. I don't really want to change things, to be honest.
Okay.
I wouldn't change it just for fun or for intellectual stimulation. I don't know. I just want you to have a way to deal with it, which is what we already solved for. So let's not overanalyze.
Okay, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you have a way out. Hey, Ivana, what's up? Good to see you.
Hi, Mason.
Do you have any specific questions? We're just hitting like question hour today.
I just want to listen because it really helps me out. But for example, specifically, I discovered that I need to get like super better at making the problems bigger.
Yep.
Sorry for the sound in the back. I'm in the airport, but like I'm kind of, I just can't make the problem bigger. For example, when the engineers tell me like, well, I ask like, why am I here now? What kind of shifted recently that made you want to book the call now? Like, and they're like, oh, we have a customer complaint or we got A or B. And then I just get that information and I don't do that.
Remind
I
us
don't do
what.
anything with that.
Yeah, remind us what
Yeah.
you sell because I believe it was like a B2B offer.
Yeah, it's a B2B offer. I sell cameras, like sensors for automation
With
for
with
process.
Keyence, yeah, with Keyence, right?
Yes, with Keyence. So every
Okay.
time I ask like what kind of shifted recently, oh, we got a customer complaint. Oh, we're trying to just improve the process. And then I just stick with that answer and I don't ask like anything else. I'm like, okay, so let's go to the application and I show you
Okay.
the camera and how it can help you. But I don't
Okay.
dig more into the problem.
Do you not know how to dig more or you're resistant to dig more?
I think both. I've been struggling with both. Like I don't know how to do it
Is that
or
true?
what to ask.
I feel like if you're in this group, you would know some questions. So I wonder if it's actually the resistance to like is there a resistance to ask it? Or is it like maybe if you had more confidence in practicing it, then you would do it kind of thing? I just want to get clear.
Yeah, because I don't want to. I talked to Andres and I told him like I don't want to sound like pushy or like sound like. I know he says like I need to sound curious, but I think sometimes when I ask something, I see like the client kind of his attitude just changes because he feels like persistence, and I stop asking because I feel like I'm just being pushy, and I don't know what to change, like my
So-
tonality or what do I ask.
Yeah. Do you actually record any of the interactions that you have in any way?
No, because it's like in person, and this week I will do that because
I would, yeah, I would low key have like either your phone recorder on in your pocket,
Yeah.
or like one of those little AI recorder things that's like a necklace, and you can probably put it under your shirt.
Yes.
I would start recording those and bring them to us so we can actually get the real data. Like I don't know what's actually happening, you know?
Yeah, it will be in Spanish, but I can
Oh,
do that.
bring it to Andres then.
Yes.
He's
yeah,
fluent. Yeah. In the meantime, like without like the full context, like the shortest thing, like the quickest solve is just clarifying, like, what do you mean by that? Or it's a customer complaint. Oh, what kind of customer complaint? Like, or do you mind asking for permission? Oh, do you mind if I ask a few questions just to make sure this would actually be helpful for you to like solve that problem. If you get permission before you ask more questions, oftentimes people will be more open because there's a reason for the questions. So
Yeah,
I always
totally.
talk about like PRQ, permission, reason, question. So like
Okay.
it could, for an example, would be like, hey Brian, can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And the reason I ask is because like our goal with business coaching is not only to help you hit those 20, 30K months, but to actually create the kind of lifestyle you want so that you're not just like a slave to the business, right? So when you think about that, like what are some of the non-monetary goals, right? Like the personal goals that you actually want this business to allow you to achieve? You can kind of go for it if you want.
Yeah, so basically I just want to be able to spend, I just had a newborn, so I just want to get to a position where I can actually spend time with my kid and I'm not like spending all day just trying to run the business. I think that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, cool. We'll pause. So there's like a permission, a reason, and a question. You guys can always, can I ask you a question on that? Or do you mind if we go deeper on that? And then the reason I ask is XYZ and 1, 2, 3. It could be like not even that good of a reason. And like scientifically, there's like studies that show your compliance rates will basically 2x or 3x from that of like higher quality responses, which is hilarious. And the reason I ask is just because, and like you could barely put a reason and you'll get better responses.
Totally.
It's
So
wild.
what are the 3 steps you said? Like permission?
Permission, reason, and question, PRQ.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're ever feeling stuck, like that's why if I feel tense on a call, I don't want to just proceed with tense energy in my body. I'll just get consent. I'll be like, "Hey, is it cool if we dive into that deeper? I'm curious to learn more." And I'm always like from the frame of like I want to help them, and when I have that curious tone and like I'm here to figure it out, they usually open up. It's very hard for a human to resist a human who's curious, genuinely curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, the intent feels pure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Mason.
Yeah, for sure. I like the Q&A format. This is fun. We get some gold out of this. Pat.
Yeah, I got a quick question. All right, so I was on a call the other day. Um, and so when it comes to like extracting pain, if someone just like is an open book without too much, like how 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 deep do I need to go knowing that like this is an obvious transition to maneuver on?
Can you ask the question another way? I just want to make sure I get it.
So essentially, yeah, I was just on a call the other day and I had done some, some setting in advance, having some conversations, so I already had an idea of where this person was at. Um, but is there a time where diving deep into the pain and like asking really like
Yeah,
peeling back layers of the onion, like just
it's too
wasting
much.
time or like dumb
Yes, there
because
is. There is. So Heather's on this call. She's one of my new clients. We were talking about it this weekend, which is like,
Mhm.
in my mind, sales is change. And so the whole point of the call is to get enough motivators, to get enough reasons for change so that somebody commits to making a change.
Mhm.
So it's up to you to listen and decide and kind of just have that gut feel of like, what is enough reasons? Is it enough
Yeah,
reasons that you feel like you could hold them accountable if they give you bullshit at the end of the call?
yeah,
Do you have enough ammunition where if they give you a shitty answer at the end of the call, like you feel like you can hold them to their higher self?
sure.
And can you actually get them to verbally express that they're committed to change? So
Hmm.
you can qualify that. So it's like, okay, knowing that all those things that are going on, Pat, like how important is it for you to make this change?
All right.
And if they give a
Yeah.
softball answer and it's crap, then you know it was not enough pain.
Hmm.
They're not qualified to committed to change. But if they give a good committed answer, you're like, cool, that's all I need. I just need them to tell me they're committed to
Hmm.
change.
Yeah, because like for example, I was asking the individual that was on the call like what's going on, and she started going into stuff about like her son and the divorce and all of this and why it's such a struggle, and like it was like right away it was like okay, I feel like this is obvious that there's not too much to dive into. I just
Yeah, you don't have to
it almost
it,
it
you
almost
don't
felt like
you don't
almost felt
have
like it
to
was too much of a
throw
layup.
yeah, you don't have to throw salt in the wound, but you do need to confirm just because they say it and
Hmm.
we just don't want to assume that it's important for them to change based off what they said. We still need them to verbalize it.
Right. Which is like still throwing
It-
like rationale question and something like that to make
yeah, some
sure,
sort of
which I
commitment to
did. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So as long as that's there, then like we're Gucci is how I kind of look at it. I don't want to just probe and clarify forever for fun. It's really just to get enough pain where I'm like, okay, like, can I hold
Hmm.
this person accountable? And is there something that is in their mind worth committing to change for?
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
sometimes people come on and like I don't even need to do a whole problem awareness or
I mean,
any.
that's how it felt, and it was like I hadn't had that in a while, so it just felt almost like I said, it was like a layup, and that was just odd
Yeah, it is a different
in a good
experience,
way.
but if it's kind of like if someone comes in and says like I need surgery, I'm dying, and you're like, let me ask you 100 questions about it. You're like, yo, dude, my knee is bleeding. Can you please just put me into the damn hospital room already? And you're like, well, before we do, let me clarify. And they're like, F you, doc. Like, so it's just listening to people, right? Meeting them where they're at.
Got it. Cool.
Um, Anybody want to get a quick role play? We got 15 minutes left. Anybody want to hop on and train objections? Anything in particular that would be helpful right now? Discovery or objections? Who wants to get in the hot seat? Or are we?
I might. Can I?
I'll jump in too.
No,
I know I
no.
got
We
a call
actually
later
we
on
ran
this
out of
week.
spots, Damina. We don't. I can't. I'm just kidding. Yeah, let's have you go. And what do you sell? What's your offer again?
It's gonna be done with you marketing to business owners who don't really have marketing systems in place.
Cool.
I want to focus really quickly on just like the just this flow of questions and then like how I would kind of go from there.
Yeah.
So
Do you have a script that you're referencing off of, or what?
yes, I do, but the script that the offer owner gave me, he made it completely with ChatGPT and not like ChatGPT Pro. So I'm kind of just trying to like play around with this.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Let's roll with it. Who wants to be a prospect?
There
Who
you
wants to
go.
be a business owner?
I'll be a business owner.
Okay, cool. Let's run it.
Should I start from the beginning?
Yeah. Let's just hear what chat has to say.
Hey, can you see and hear me okay?
Yeah, I can see fine.
Awesome. Just give me 1 second. Gonna let the team know that you're here. Okay, perfect. Before we get into our chat today, what was it that you saw from us that made you want to book into the call today?
Yeah, I saw you guys are offering some help with business owners like myself to, really fine tune and optimize marketing to potentially get more deals in the door.
Yeah, spot on. Well, I'm happy to connect. Just to kind of introduce myself, my name's Damana. I'm Noel's strategy coach. What I found to work best on these calls is just diving deeper into the specifics of your business, figure out what's working, where you're struggling, just to see if we can possibly figure out those missing pieces together. But we also want to make sure that we might even be able to help you. There's some people that we just can't help. Once I get some clarity there, if we can't help, I'm more than happy to walk you through that. And if not, we'll figure out what else is best. Does that sound good?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. I guess like the best place to start is could you kind of walk me through what you're currently doing right now to get more leads?
Yeah, I post on TikTok, Instagram, and TikTok and Instagram mostly, and then Facebook as well. And I've done a little bit of boosting posts on Instagram, but I haven't really seen too much about it. And then I just get confused by doing anything on Meta ads. It's been a challenge for me.
Yeah. Okay. And you're not alone. A lot of business owners say the exact same thing. I guess like what caused you to want to use that strategy of just kind of posting a couple things here and there?
That's really all that I knew to do. I really haven't done too much homework besides watching a few YouTube videos on how to like boost post and whatnot. And then, like I said, the whole meta ads was just really confusing for me, and I just didn't take the time to put in. So I was hoping to try to learn more about that.
Yeah, 100%. I guess how long have you been doing it that way?
So I've been mainly organic for my business for the first year or two, just with referrals and networking events, and then of course just organic content.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a couple of years now.
Okay. And I guess like just so I have a better understanding, what was it that happened recently that made you want to look into this further instead of just depending on that word of mouth or organic content?
Well, I just seen so many roller coaster months in my business, and then also with the holidays coming up, and like looking at my forecasted numbers, I feel like um, it's just time to really take it serious so I can get some more consistent numbers to be able to forecast for the things that I want to do, travel to see my family back home, and things like that.
Yeah, 100%. And when you say consistent, is like, are things not as fast as they used to be, or kind of walk me through how that's looking in your case?
I mean, I've had big months and I've had slow months, but right now it seems like this year is a little bit slower. I think it's maybe the economy or something like that, but
Yeah.
they've been pretty slow. Yeah, so I think they've, not as great as they have been in the past, but they're not as bad as they've ever been. So they're somewhat in the middle.
Okay. Okay, cool. And I guess like before things started slowing down, if you don't mind me asking, how much revenue were you doing on average?
hmm Anywhere between $8,000 and $10,000 a month was my typical revenue.
Okay. And I guess like how many jobs were you doing to get to that 8 to 10,000?
Typically every client pays around um, like $500 a month. So yeah, it was anywhere between um, you know, 15 and 20 clients
Okay,
at all
okay.
times. Yeah.
And since things started to slow down, how much revenue do you feel like you're doing on average right now?
It still fluctuates. I might hit a $7,000 or $8,000 month, but it's been going back between 4 and 8, oscillating between that for the last 6 or so months.
Okay. Okay. So I'm not the best at math, right? But on average before things started slowing down, you mentioned that you were doing around 10,000, 8
Yeah,
to
between 8
10,000.
and 10, correct.
Okay, and then right now, like the ballpark range is around 4 to 6, right?
Yeah.
So right now you're kind of taking out a pay of losing 6,000, and you mentioned how long has that been going around? Like how many months?
It's back and forth between like around 6 months, and some months, like I said, it's 4,000 or 6,000, just depends.
Yeah. So as of recently per month, you've kind of been taking a pay of $6,000, and for these past 6 months, that's cost you 3,600. As a business owner, how does that kind of sit with you, knowing that you've taken that big of a cut recently?
Well, I mean, that's the reason why I'm on the call. It's been pretty frustrating, and obviously now with the holidays coming up, I'm feeling things are really tight.
Yeah. And I guess like what is that doing to you personally though?
Real quick, this is good. As a woman selling to a male business owner, when they admit something vulnerable, I want you to give them a little bit of respect and a little bit of like, hey, and I appreciate you being real with me. Like
Yeah.
it's not uncommon. Like some sort of acknowledgement as like human to human.
Okay.
Like he's playing nice, but like some dudes won't. So like to
Okay.
pre-handle that and to create like a safe environment for guys, I would suggest like some
Okay.
sort of acknowledgement. Yeah, and I appreciate you being real with me. Like, and just the fact that you're here, that means a lot. You'd be surprised how many guys like they have a dip and then they just ignore it completely. So the fact that you're here, like clearly that means like you're gonna crush it. Like something like that, just to like build up their ego a little bit.
Yeah. Encourage the positive behavior.
Oh, 100%. They will eat that shit up and then they'll stay open with you rather than potentially shutting down. He's playing nice right now, but I could see a world that exists where they shut down.
Okay. So like
Yeah.
I
And then
appreciate
they're gonna go like, can you just of course I'm here to make more revenue. What's the price? And then that thing comes out, that beast that none of us want to sell to, including myself. That would be my suggestion is like a little bit of the softeners. Like the format, the NEPQ structure so far has been great. That's like the only thing is just like a little robotic in that is like, gotcha, okay, gotcha, okay, gotcha, okay, but never any like human aspect of like acknowledging what he's going through.
should I incorporate more like I appreciate you sharing? Like kudos to you for even hopping on this call today. Most business owners would kind of just throw that off to the side. Like,
Yeah, especially right now, guys, and this doesn't just apply for her, but this applies for everyone who's selling between now and the rest of the year, which is like, hey, and like kudos to you for hopping on and like looking to like grow your business and solve like challenges. You'd be surprised how many business owners this time of year just coast into the holidays and they don't do anything. But like the fact that you're here, that means you're an action taker. So like I just appreciate you for being here. Anyways, and then I roll into a question.
Yeah.
So I'm doing two things. Like one, I'm beefing them up, and then two, vilifying the negative identity of the person who waits for the holidays or Christmas or waits till the New Year's, because you guys are about to start to get hammered with way more of the New Year's objections like very soon. Like they're coming in the next week or so. It's coming like if it's not already here, it's about to be here.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like a 2 for 2 lesson, if that makes sense. I think it's a quick, easy win for you at the beginning of the calls with if you have A-type guys potentially.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's keep going with that role play though. That's good. Let's keep rocking it.
Okay. I appreciate you sharing. Kudos to you for even hopping on this call. Most business owners, they see a little bit of struggle and they just throw it off until the next year. So this shows you're a real action taker and you're serious about potentially getting some help. Everyone's a little bit different, I guess, for you. What's the main reason that you would kind of consider getting outside help for marketing rather than just maybe going out and doing it all on yourself?
Well, like I said, I've been doing it on my own for a little while and it's worked, but it hasn't worked consistently. And then also I think there's a information gap and I'm no longer willing to wait for me to take all the time to learn all of that. So potentially getting to my results a little bit faster is kind of like my end goal here.
Yeah, 100%. We want to make sure that we're helping you get there as fast as possible. I guess in the last 6 months, if we are being truly honest here, what have you actually done to dial in marketing?
Like I said, I've got into boosting posts, which I had never done before to try to get people in the door. And then I've been doing a lot of like cleaning
Time
up
out
my
for one
CR.
sec.
Go
I want
ahead.
to, good question, Damina. I want to give you like just a subtlety. So when we do this question that you just did, the way to pre-frame the question to improve the accuracy of the response is to eliminate bad answers. So besides XYZ and besides ABC, what have you done to solve it? So eliminate, basically rip away bad answers proactively besides, because it's like he's telling you information you already got earlier in the call,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I want new information, not old information. So besides old information one and old information two, what have you actually done like in terms of getting outside help? So that way
yeah.
they can't just repeat what they've already said to me.
Okay.
So like I like for this question, I specifically like to pick one or two things to basically scrape it out and make sure that they don't tell me that because I'm like, yo, you already said it.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes.
So I would say try that and just like eliminate one or two bad responses so he'll give you a better response.
Okay.
So let's try the question again.
Okay. So hold on. Wait. Okay, so besides, just posting a couple videos here and there and trying some boosters, if we look at these last 6 months together, what have you actually done to dial in marketing?
Outside of that, I've talked to some friends that have already done some stuff and been successful, and I took from notes from them, but I haven't really done too much in terms of implementation outside of what you shared.
Yeah, and I guess like just being completely honest here, like why do you feel like you haven't done more, especially
Uh,
for your business?
um, yeah, just lack of knowledge and understanding how to actually execute on it all and knowing what works. I think there's also a fear of, putting in a bunch of money for advertising or marketing, not knowing if it's actually the right route or not, or if I'm doing it the right way.
Yeah, 100%. Marketing, the field is as tricky as it can be. You're not alone in this. A lot of business owners, they feel the exact same way. I guess, like, what do you feel like not taking the time or maybe trying to figure this out for sure has actually cost you over the last 6 months?
Well, we did the numbers, right? It's been $36,000 or more potentially, and all my time and energy I've been stressed about. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Okay. And I guess, like, why do you feel like now is a good time to get started to solving this? Because the reality is you could just hold this off for another 6 months.
Just the inconsistency. I've felt a little bit of struggle, and then now it's coming to the holidays, and things are even tighter than they normally would be throughout the year. And so I'm ready to just kind of like draw a line in the sand and do something different.
Yeah, kudos to you. I guess like that's where we're at right now. Like, where would you like to be in the next 3 to 6 months?
Yeah, I probably just want to make some more money and get more dialed in with having more leads in the door through my marketing.
Yeah. And can I ask for a little bit more? Like, let's just say everything does work out perfectly with the marketing in the next 3 months. Kind of paint me the picture of where you would like your business to be.
Can you explain a little more what you mean? Like I just shared, I want to make more money and
Yeah,
also get more
just
leads
like
in the door.
dive a little bit deeper into the specifics if you don't mind.
Sure. So yeah, like we
This
talked
is
about, I guess
this
my
is good.
biggest,
Let's pause. This is
yeah,
solid.
You
yeah, I
like
think,
it?
Yeah, yeah. The one thing that I would like in terms of from a structural perspective and like your actual flow of the script so far is like spot on. It's like an EPQ. It's making sense. I think you're getting good things from him. Um, I don't know if I want to give you feedback on tone or not, but it almost is like monotone at some point though. Is the only thing I would improve is like a little bit more liveliness. I don't need you to be like super excited to see someone, but it's almost like so flat that I'm like, yo, are you alive? So just
Okay.
like a little bit of energy and just like could go a long way in terms of your ability to have more range and influence people. Because if you're, and I was talking with Heather about this weekend, like if you only operate in kind of one tone, one energy, it can be difficult to influence people or move them if we're kind of only in this like one tone and one cadence. I don't know if that resonates or not.
No, that makes sense. Is
Yeah.
it, I guess like what tonality would you like, should I implement more like a calming and curious tonality in the discovery? Or
Uh,
like,
I'll have to reflect on this one. I wouldn't change anything as of right now. I think it's just the ability to know that you have more range. We haven't tested the range yet to see you in objections, so that'll help me know later, and then I think we can circle back on it.
okay.
Let's
Yeah.
let's bookmark it for right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to make any massive changes, but like your understanding of the script seems pretty freaking solid. So I would just keep
Actually,
getting.
it's Brian, kudos to him. He helps me with that. We yeah, it's not ChatGPT, but
I could tell that was not chat because that seemed like something I would write. And then if Brian got it, then he got it from Andres, and if Andres got it from me. So it's going through the family.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's my grandchildren. Mhm.
Yes.
Good work, guys. That was solid. How would you guys rate the call 1 to 10 before we jump? Just drop in the chat, and then we can hop. And if it's below let's see what we get. Cool. It's ever below X amount, I won't tell you what the threshold is. Then I got to get feedback. I always like to do that. Sweet, guys. I'm glad this one was helpful. I'll see you on next week. I'm gonna go jump into a webinar right now and go have some fun.
Crush
Thanks,
it.
Mason.
Bye.
See y'all.
Appreciate it.
Peace,
Thank you.
guys. Later.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Belford, stacking penny stocks.